Markets doing things they've never done before, the media screaming from the rooftops, all the things that you need to be afraid of. There are scary things. We're going to tell you why you don't need to be scared. So it's been a trying week in markets, doing things they've never done. Death toll counts on the nightly news and a virus people don't understand. We're gonna get into it and talk about why these scary things are not reason to be scared. Number one, is this time different? We'll assess the situation, help put it in context. Number two, how are we feeling? And really share some, again, important historic market knowledge to put some context that should be helpful. Number three, what are we doing? What kinds of actions are we taking? How does our process really get implemented during a time like this? And then I'm going to leave you with 4 calls to action. It's all spelled out in the summary section if you just want to skip ahead to your favorite part. But again, I hope that you find this whole video of great value. Before I begin, 2 quick thank yous. Thank you for enabling myself and everyone here to have such a meaningful job. These weeks are full of early mornings and late nights and lots in between, but I love them. I love the chance to put my intellect to the test, and I know the team does as well, to put our compassion to the test and walk through these difficult and trying times with people. It's what we love about our jobs. Secondly, thank you for all the messages. My grandmother and mother are always worried that people are picking on me. My dad sent me a text yesterday wondering how I was doing. Truth be told, I got infinitely more messages of encouragement and virtually no one that reached out either panicked or upset. And it's just a credible and testament to you, our clients. Last thing before we get started, the human element. I'm going to talk about numbers. I'm going to put things in context. It could come off cold. It could come off like I'm minimizing the situation. And while I am, I think from a market and economic impact, that's certainly what I would have you take away. I'm certainly not from the human element and the sadness for those families and those regions being impacted. We, of course, like everybody, pray that a solution is found soon to helping this out. With that, is this time different? Assessing the situation with the coronavirus. It's a dangerous cliche. It's a common cliche. A week ago, it was being trotted out to justify why you should still buy Tesla at $950. The S&P 500 at all-time highs with valuations that from some perspectives were higher than they were during the dot-com bubble. Just a week later, it's being trotted out to tell you why, even though most corrections, particularly those caused by flu-type epidemics, rebound quite quickly, this time is different and you shouldn't buy now. The danger of this cliche is it's always partly true, but it's always a trap. It's always partly true in the sense that, of course, every situation is a little bit different than the next, and you can pick your favorite little part to try to justify a thesis. But it's dangerous in the sense that while the facts may change just a little bit slightly, the rules of how we behave as people and how, as a consequence, market behave more times than not follow some patterns. And so to, again, try to justify buying high and selling low is probably unwise. The reality is this market drop because of a health scare is quite typical. If you looked at the SARS or Zika, they were both down around 13%. We're right around 14% right now. It wouldn't have surprised me to see this go deeper, just given the lofty valuations that we were trading at. But again, far from, and again, I think even the rapidity of how fast this drop happened is about the news cycles. It's about technology far more than it is about what people think or know about the coronavirus, which, to be candid, isn't much. Number 2, and this is the part that I know could come off cold, but flus and deaths from flu is not, unfortunately, an uncommon thing either. This stat I looked up this week, and our team, Adam Gelhausen in particular, and Ryan gave me some great data around this. There's 650,000 flu deaths a year. 9 to 45 million people in a given year will get the flu in the United States, with 36 fatalities. And yet it never makes headline news. It doesn't have a fancy name. The flus at this point are attacking most of the same people in terms of those people succumbing to it, the most vulnerable in society. You don't hear the politicians, the media, trying to call it pandemic season every time the winter is upon us. It's something that we've gotten used to. This, I think, isn't going to be a whole lot different, even though I'm sure it is in some ways from an overall economic standpoint. And already you're seeing things abate a bit in China. You're seeing a vaccine that's supposedly 1 to 2 months out. And Starbucks, for what that anecdotally is worth, has already opened up 85% of their shops in China with a death count there at about 2,000. So it's an important context in terms of just how much strain our system already takes on a regular basis and how much it really is capable of being resilient. Number 2, how are we feeling? Hopefully this isn't upsetting to you, but I'm actually feeling pretty grateful and pretty energized. Not because of the tragedy, but from a purely market situation. We really believed there would be some excuse that would come along, and I really think that how dramatic the market has moved is more about the valuations than the virus that would pull back. And so I'm proud of the discipline that the team showed to hold water to those new strategies, new funds that we wanted to implement, wait until we got levels that were more attractive to us, and not get sucked in to those highs. We've been talking, I'm sure you got sick of it, I know I got sick of saying it, to not get greedy, to not get extended. I know that was certainly, and you saw it in the technicals with the market way above its 200-day moving average. Sentiment that got to 99 out of 100 on the CNN Fear and Greed Index. In just a very, very short period of time, all of fourth quarter's gains come off the table to the level that we said, hey, this doesn't make sense anymore. We're back to the 200-day moving average, which I think is important. And sentiment has dropped from 99 again down to 9. The lowest it got was 4 in December of 2018. So this is the time, again, when everybody's scared and quite clearly selling, thus the drops in the market. This is the adage when you buy low and you sell high. We know the adage is to be greedy when others are fearful, but knowing them and internalizing them and acting on them are two different things. But all the smart moves that you wished you would have made, this is what it feels like when those opportunities arise. And you've got to be willing to maybe feel or look a little bit stupid for a little while to look smart in time if you're going to be a successful investor. Number 3, what are we doing? Well, we are starting to adjust our portfolios. Like I said, we had some new strategies. We're taking advantage not only of markets that are at a discount, but bond markets that are at all-time highs with yields that are at all-time lows. We don't call tops and we don't call bottoms. And so 2 weeks ago, I had the question this week, well, how come you didn't get everybody out? It's not part of the process. It's not a timing process. It's a process. If things run hot for a long time, we rebalance a little bit. When they get low, we know about how many 10 to 12%, what typical correction is 10 to 12%. We know how many of those become bear markets, and we layer into our strategies accordingly. And so again, it's a process driven because none of us feel like buying when the market's down 4.5%. But you set your process and your discipline in the calmer, cooler moments, and that's what we've done. The other thing is we're already diversified, so you can't rebalance if you're all in a certain asset class, whether that's risk assets or anything else. And 2, we have the income and liquidity and the conservative positions as a consequence to help our retired clients stay retired and keep getting those checks. Even if the market isn't giving them returns, we can give them cash from those dividends and bond payments. And conversely, we've got those positions we can pick on to take advantage of weeks just like this. So again, process-oriented that we're putting into effect, particularly again at moments where you see markets at 3 standard deviations oversold, and with sentiment, as I referenced, as low as it is, this is a moment much like we had in December of 18, where things are bottoming out, maybe not exactly today, but probably soon, and will be a good intermediate to long-term opportunity. I also want to say a quick word of how much I appreciate our team. So yesterday was a trying day. Markets are plummeting. Phone calls are coming in. Adam's doing some analysis. Ryan was heroic in all the trades he got done. I'm doing a combination thereof. Jake and I then put on a risk presentation, which turned out to be pretty timely at lunch. Everybody was working, and it was such a testament to the team here at 10 Capital. The emails I got last night of feedback from people who had interactions with people of the team were a great way to end my day. And so again, just a word of thanks and appreciation for the team that works for you all the time. Last section, calls to action. Number one, stay calm, but get to work. This will pass. We will get through this. We were ready for this. We told you for quite a few weeks now, we thought that this would happen. So we're not surprised. We're not putting a plan in place now. The plan's been in place. The plan is working from a purely market level. Again, this was a good week for us, we think long-term, to get our clients to an even better place. Call to action number two, assess your risk. We have, as we put on at the Lunch and Learn, tools to help you quantify what is your risk tolerance. Maybe you're feeling right now you wish you had less risk. Wait for the markets to heal up before you do that. But again, keep that in mind. Don't forget how this feels right now and whether or not you were able to stick it through. If you were, then maybe it was just a period of discomfort. For those of you who want to add equity exposures, do you still want to do that now? And is that still prudent within your plan? Again, we can help with these three things. Number three, these types of moments need to be planned for in advance. So whether it's an in-service distribution you've been putting off, getting to that plan, getting that risk assessment done, getting moved into an income portfolio from a more equity growth type portfolio. Again, not that income portfolios don't grow, but maybe you had a little bit too much FANG exposure within your portfolio. Let's get that done. Let's get that income in place for you if you're a retired client or you know someone who's heading into that retirement. The portfolios work beautifully for these types of environments, not only to help give you that cash, but that comfort to get through these moments. With that, thank you again for the honor of working with you. For those of you who are clients, for those of you who aren't, thank you for your time and attention in watching this video. We get these out to you every week to be prepared in advance and help prepare you in advance and to, again, honor you being a client and or, again, your time and attention with effort from us. With that, I hope this helps you have a better weekend. As always, reach out to us anytime.